Head coaches, have you made a decision on who's going to call your offense moving forward?
Yes. So, the thought process is, obviously you can't wholesale change in the middle of a season. Guys know the vocabulary, and there are a lot of things that we do conceptually that, give us a chance. Didn't want to wholesale change. There are things that I feel like we could add to help, and concepts that we already have that need to be called a little more. And I didn't want to disrupt the flow of the position coaches coaching their position and adding more to their plate. And so through evaluation and a lot of conversations with everyone involved in the building, felt like the guy that gives us the best chance to operate efficiently and that has poise and maturity and a good outlook on what we're trying to look like as a team on game days is Jason Simmons. So collectively we'll put together the game plan. I'll help a little more in that room just to add another set of eyes and some insight. Different guys are responsible for different areas of the game plan, but on game day, Jason Simmons will call the plays.
Where will Jason be during games? And if it's in the box, who will be his eyes on the field? If he's downstairs, who will be his eyes in the sky?
I think operationally will be the same. Like he's been in the box up to this point, so I think he'll be comfortable up there. And then we'll operate like we have been in terms of communication and signaling or huddling.
Why make the change now?
Obviously it was not easy. I got a lot of respect for Graham, and I appreciate what he has poured into this program up to this point. Love him and his family dearly. It was obviously not an easy conversation. But this is a business. It has nothing to do with anything personal. I wish him and his family nothing but the best. And I think Graham's a great coach. It just for whatever reason it just wasn't working here. And the decision to do it now is for a couple of reasons. One, I believe that we have a better team than we have been showing the last 3 weeks. And so there is a lot of football still to be played. We've played a quarter of the games. And I feel like if I didn't do anything right now, it would be kind of like waving a white flag on the season. And nobody in that building is ready to do that. And so if a change was going to be made in December, I just didn't feel like it would be fair to draw that out for everyone involved. And so after careful consideration and a lot of thought process and a lot of evaluation, I felt like it was best for the program, best for our team to give us a chance to go be who I believe we have the potential to be. Was to make a very tough decision right now.
What will you do after the season, Ryan? Is Jason going to be the guy in 25, or are you going to have a national search? How will you handle it after the season?
I mean, I'll get there when we get there. Right now we're focused on trying to put the best plan, offense, defense, special teams together to go win a ball game against a team that this program hasn't beaten in a long time.
Ryan, can you go into more specifics about just what you felt like this offense wasn't doing that it should have been doing? Like when you imagine what this offense would look like 4 games in, what isn't it doing that it's supposed to be doing besides just the larger scoring points?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you want to be able to sustain drives and put points on the board. I think Hudson Card is a talented quarterback, and he hasn't looked like himself. We're not as explosive as I think we can be. I think we're doing a good job running the football, but it's been hard to find easy throws and getting people in advantageous situations depending on coverage and the shell defensively that's being presented pre-snap. And we haven't played complementary football, and so that's why I made the decision that I made.
Who's overseeing the quarterback room now?
We have Stan Keene is the quarterback analyst, and I'll be more involved just to oversee what's being taught, what's being how we're practicing, so I can make sure that the communication is being spoken the same throughout the offense.
Obviously, as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Graham would have had a relationship with someone like Marcos and also the quarterbacks you're bringing in. What sort of conversations have you had with those people so far to reassure them of where things are going to be in the future?
Yeah, I've started with the quarterbacks already in the room. They trust what I've done up to this point. I've been very open and honest and transparent with all those guys, and they. Again, like it's human nature to feel bad for Graham. Like everybody loved Graham in the building, still do, and so. But they also are excited about the direction moving forward and are excited to go out and compete. The remaining 3 quarters of the season.
You mentioned before that maybe you'll be more involved now. How much have you been involved? Excuse me, week to week with giving some oversight to the offense and how's that going to change? Yeah,
I mean, I've made suggestions and interjected where I saw fit. So now though, obviously I'll be more involved, more in there during the game planning process. I don't want to get in the way, and I don't want to speak on things that I don't know. But I do feel like having eyes from a defensive perspective can sort of give insight or generate discussion on how best to attack certain coverages, how best to attack certain leverages, how to get guys' eyes in the wrong spot, things like that give defenses problems.
Obviously, Jason doesn't come from extensive background of calling or coming up with a game plan at the college level. Extensive high school experience, very successful. Is there something about now that you've had both jobs that that head coach mentality, was that something you considered here, and in what ways can it be beneficial for him, I suppose? Yeah,
I think the thing I've been most impressed with Jason just in the time he's been here is his presence, his confidence. He's sort of got like a calm confidence to him and his ability to relate to and hold 18 to 22-year-olds accountable. Our team respects him. Had conversations with some of the guys on offense and let them know, what direction I was going in terms of the play calling, and all were excited that it was him. There's a lot of successful OCs in the college ranks right now that started as high school OCs. I think the fact that he has not only led a side of the ball but led an entire team, it was definitely attractive to me in terms of what our team needs right now. I got a lot of confidence in him, I got a lot of trust in him, and I think he's going to do a great job.
When you use the term complementary football, what's your definition of that, and how does that apply to what you want offensively? The definition of so offense and defense, working together to try to win a ball game. And so, if it's a long drive that the defense has been on the field for, it's probably not the wisest thing to go fast the next drive, right? It's, taking advantage of momentum swings and being, strategically aggressive on offense and strategically aggressive on defense, depending on what's going on either side of the ball throughout the course of the game. And knowing that, what the plan is going into the game. And so, I thought we did a slightly better job of that last week. Just weren't able to take advantage of some of the opportunities that were being presented.
Is it kind of your view you can pass the ball and possess the ball at the same time? Those two
Absolutely.
things don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's hard to do so when you can't find easy completions. It gets difficult, and like I said, to be strategic about when to take shots and when not to, and how to scheme up what you're seeing week to week, and having new wrinkles and things that you haven't shown, and just to set up plays that complement each other as well. Those are all things that I envision an offense looking like moving forward.
Is there any option to pursue to bring in somebody in season just as like an extra set of eyes, or just kind of somebody to just help?
Yeah, we had a lot of people reach out that are sort of out of it right now. A lot of big name, big resume. I think it's hard to bring in somebody new in the middle of a season that doesn't know the roster, that doesn't know
Right.
the vocab or the system. Again, you can't wholesale change in the middle of the year. And so I vetted a couple people, and if I feel like we need to bring somebody in, then that's the decision I'll make. But if I feel like it's best for the program and best for our success to rely on who's in the building, then that's what I'll do as well. I'll make the decision that I feel like is best and gives us the best chance to win.
Brian, back in before spring ball, when you made the decision to bring Jason over here from Miami, what did you like about him then that you felt fit this group?
Just the things like I've talked about earlier. One, I liked the fact that he had been a head coach, albeit the high school ranks, had been an offensive coordinator, albeit the high school ranks. The success he had, his familiarity with this area, and his passion for the game of football, and just the way he carries himself and his ability to reach people.
We talked about this last year, but it's been a long, long time since Purdue beat Wisconsin. I'm sure you know about the fumble game when game day was here 20 years ago. How much can this maybe be a benefit when you switch things up and you get some maybe new mojo, at least on the offensive side of the ball, in the middle of the year?
Yeah, we'll see on Saturday, right? I am hopeful, and I expect there to be some just excitement, just because it's something new. I definitely think we need a kickstart on that side of the ball, and really just inject some energy into the program overall. It's been fun today just to do something different and to hear people's ideas. There's been a lot of guys up to grab game plans and to study the attitude and the mood of the locker room is what I want it to be right now, and we're excited to get to practice tomorrow.
You said on Saturday you thought KJ would be fine. Is that the case?
Yeah.
And then Antonio Stevens, any update on him?
I'll get that injury report here in a couple of hours. I saw him earlier today. He said he's feeling a little bit better. I don't know what that means for Saturday. But obviously I'm hopeful and would love to have him back.
How much of a focus has it been for you to kind of calm the waters here, even as you try to win football games, and kind of what's the conflict there at this point in your season?
Calm the waters in terms of
Just with your team and coaches of this change and kind of moving forward.
Yeah, I've always been pretty transparent, pretty open, pretty honest with the staff, with the players, and just everybody that's in our building. And because of that, I feel like I've gained the trust of the people in the building, and it was like when I made that decision, it was all right. Like this was what Coach wanted to do, and so now it's like, what do we do moving forward, and what does that look like, and let's go attack the adversity in the moment. And it's been positive, and so like I said, I'm looking forward to this work week and looking forward to playing a good Wisconsin football team.
And then just with the offensive struggles, defense has been on the field a lot. Do you feel like they've been playing tired, and you know, how much do you think that's impacted what they've been able to do?
You know, it's hard to. I don't want to make excuses. You know what I mean? You know, I felt like 2 weeks ago we played decent defense for 3 quarters and you know, made some bonehead mistakes at the end of it. And you know, last week again, I thought, you know, for about 3.5 quarters they were pretty dialed in, and you know, just let a couple plays sort of get outside of us, and you know, had some stupid penalties that extended a drive there that ended up in a touchdown. But you know, I have seen improvement from that side. I've seen guys playing the game the way you need to play on that side of the ball, which toughness and physicality and speed. And so, you know, we'll hopefully that continues, that improvement continues.
Coach, the whole roster, the whole program really seemed very bought in early. What are you doing now over the past few weeks, and I guess now looking forward to 5 undefeated teams, 4 ranked teams? What are you doing to maintain morale in the locker room?
Just, you know, being ourselves every day, and you know, resting our laurels on the work that and the preparation that's needed to compete and win ball games. You know, morale is not. It's not low. It's, you know, guys aren't. There's no like woe is me or finger pointing. You know, I think the team knows what it's capable of, and they see the potential, and you know, have seen improvement, and I think they're excited to get to work this week.
I don't know how much time you had yesterday to go through Wisconsin, but they obviously, against USC, they were up and they had a chance to really win that game. A couple of bounces the right way, and they were in that game at the end. What are you seeing about them? They're a team also that needs to prove itself under a second-year coach. What are you seeing from the Badgers right now?
Yeah, I mean, you see from the Badgers what you typically see. You know, they're big and physical up front. You know, they can run the ball well. They're pretty balanced. You know, probably more so this year than they were a year ago. They got talented players on both sides of the ball. You know, defensively, they do a good job of disguising coverages and giving you different presentations up front. And they're strategic about, you know, when they bring pressure and trying to take away, you know, what you're good at offensively. You know, well coached, talented football team.
Ryan, when did you exactly decide to make this change? Was it Saturday night? Was it Sunday? When did you decide, hey, we got to do this?
You know, I've been evaluating the season. You know, I never want to make decisions directly after a game. You know, you tend to be emotional after a contest. And so on Sunday, after processing and evaluating and watching the film and just looking at what the program looks like moving forward, you know, decided to make that decision Sunday afternoon.
So you told Graham then. How did Graham react?
You know, he reacted with grace and appreciation. Obviously, he's disappointed. You know, I told him, I love him to death. I love his family to death, and I'm sorry it didn't work out. And nobody envisioned this happening and transpiring the way it did. And he was very gracious. He's like, you know, Coach, I love you to death, and I believe in everything you're doing. I'm sorry it didn't work out as well, and you know, there's no animosity either way. Like I would help Graham with whatever, and I'm sure he would do the same. And like I said, I wish him and his family nothing but the best.
Do 2 more questions.
Were you forced to make this decision, or was it your own decision?
No, it was my decision.
Last question, Nathan.
What have you communicated, Jason, as far as like what you need him to do or need him to be here? And I guess in addition to that, just your extensive background as a coordinator, anything you've tried to convey to him in this short time to get him started there?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of conversations. You know, you don't just make a decision like that without fully vetting and fully evaluating what it looks like moving forward. You know, I've expressed, you know, the things that I would like to see on game days and need to see from that side of the ball. And he and the rest of the staff are in agreement. And so, like I said, there, you know, wholesale changes, no, but there are definitely a lot of tweaks. And, you know, maybe emphasizing things that we already have a little more and de-emphasizing things that we're doing already. So, you know, like I said, I'm confident and comfortable and excited to see what that looks like throughout the course of this week and definitely on game day.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.